We went to a squat party. We went to a demolition party in a squat in an old factory. Somewhere on Desolation Road, just before the last exit to the bourgeoisie, hosted by the X generation. Talk about nothing else to do. We were down on the Holloway Road in some pub, I don't know, some pub with beer. Paulie was with us. We were drinking, we were talking, who knows? There are nights and moments like this in every life you'll never remember. Or maybe you do for some reason. Paulie'd finished work and driven over in his old silver Datsun Cherry. Not the chariot of dreams your childhood promised, but it took him further than we could see, and he could see pretty far from the 17th floor. Dan had a friend lived nearby. He'd been to see him buy some dope off. Friend meant person with drugs to Daniel. I'd wandered down from Highbury Corner after another visit to the washing up employment agency again, hoping to avoid any of the words involved. Employment, washing up. I was quite happy with job shy, down and dirty. Nutshell, it'd been a typical day for all of us. Dan had got his drugs, Paulie got a job, and I hadn't. Didn't. Wasn't going to either. So there we were, ourselves, in a pub on the Holly Road at a table, thirst akimbo, Paul on a stool and me and Dan at angles on the Vela. Black wooden floor, dull brass around the bar. This was before people started cleaning up old pubs, when they realised how beautiful they are underneath the centuries of shit caking the interiors. It wasn't rough, but earthy enough, more allotment than some. Other people stood around with drinks implying various degrees of threat. It was only Wednesday or something. Nobody was expecting to kill or be killed this early in the week. So just nothing can stand out and mark a moment and not wash out. We're in the bar, talking about whatever, not expecting to recall anything for something. Paul was saying something about work, but neither me nor Dan had the faintest idea what this could mean. So that kind of petered out, that one. I asked Dan about, the stuff he'd bought, but he just looked at me. Paul looked at both of us and didn't understand. What? He said. What? I asked him. What? Said Dan. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah, said Dan. He nodded and looked at me. I looked away. This was great. Wasn't this great? How great was this? Isn't this great? I said. The only topic left under how was your day was my war of attrition with the washing up agency. I knew they were just bursting to hear all about it. I went down to the washing up agency again today. Paul tried to look interested in a story about a job more boring than his, and Daniel was looking through his non-leather wallet for a meat-free Rizzler. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Paulie looked into his drink. Which is a strange sentence, isn't it? Nothing happened. If nothing happened, then I mean, what happened? Nothing. So how can you say if it happened if nothing did? Hee said Daniel to his wallet. There was a pause, then a long gap. Then some time dragged itself into the past without anything during it. We aged, we decayed, we didn't mature. How's the van? Paulie asked Dan. Dan looked up. They started a conversation about the van. The van. Some people left the pub. The front door was behind the short part of the L of the Vela couch we were sitting on, in a little internal porch thing. The noise of the street rose and fell with the swing of the door. Some music played in the gaps between the murmurs and laments of the drinkers inside. Nobody looked like they were fun or ever had any. If you addressed a postcard to the centre of the universe, it wouldn't end up here. But we had. We had. There was a picture of an old horse race on the wall, elongated strides on whippet-legged mounts. There was a dusty fireplace with nothing in it. That's what there was. I wondered if we were going to get drunk and what would happen if we did. Or didn't. Didn't seem to matter. You could rearrange the furniture, but it was still the waiting room. I think I might have been worrying about the Eurasian front for a white-out minute until I snapped back to, reality. Daniel turned to me. Something had come up, obviously. You know Mystery Train? It's a road movie, right? On a fucking train? He turned back to Paulie. Time slipped by, the talk ebbed, and the beer flowed. The drinks lowered themselves in their glasses as we raised them to toast the fact that we had them. We filled them up again when they'd gone, low tide in the affairs of men. This was our reward for doing nothing all day, apart from Paulie, who deserved more but would never ask. I didn't deserve anything, even though I was always asking, and Dan just didn't enter the equation of deserve asking anyway at all. I looked at my two friends as they talked underwater to each other, just watched. Dan in his preposterous exterior concealing an even more preposterous interior, an inverted TARDIS, huge on the outside with nothing much inside it. I wondered how you could be vacant and so full of shit at the same time unless you were a public toilet. And Paulie the good, the honest, he had a job, did I tell you? He'd made his choice, or at least taken one fork in the road without hesitating over the map. When I looked up at the signposts, they read surrender or humiliation. To him, Sedan was a car he drove. To me, a debacle I was losing. They were talking about where they used to live. Dan had had a room in student halls round the corner in his first year on the Caledonian Road. He'd managed to recreate it in the flat in Hackney down to the crumbs in his beard. Paul had never seen the halls, had an Animal House image of it, and wanted to know if they rode motorbikes upstairs at toga parties and that. They didn't. It was great, Daniel was saying. You get to meet people. Name one then, I said. Nigel. He didn't live there, his witchy girlfriend did. Oh, right. What was her name? Satan something, wasn't it? Who's this? Says Paul. She was weird, which was large talk coming from Daniel. I remember she had a fit or something once. We had to hold her down. Bah. I saw a shape of an upside down cross appear under her skin, on her stomach, you know. What? Paul didn't look happy. This wasn't Jack Daniels and frat japes. Yeah, we were holding her down on the bed. I was holding her feet and she was saying all these words we couldn't understand. Like, let me go. No, it was like talking in tongues, all funny words, really scary. She's not French or something, is she? The shape of an upside down cross just appeared on her stomach, like it was being pressed against the skin from the inside. I had to go. We thought about this. How do you know it was upside down? The cross bit was, was at the bottom. Maybe you were looking at it from the wrong end. Eh? I mean, maybe it looked the right way up to her. But she's a witch. She's a witch, said Paulie. A witch, Daniel nodded. So a witch would only do an upside down cross, wouldn't she? She's not a witch, I said. And then we all said, she's a very naughty boy. Hee. Anyway, I went on, the thing about the upside down cross being all satanic isn't right, isn't it? No, Stuart told me. Red-haired Stuart. Yep. Oh, we had to believe it then, if Stuart said. Those halls, is that where the White Horse is? Just beside the clock tower? Paulie had a perfect memory for places. We'd been in that pub once, I think, and he still remembered it. He had perfect pitch as well. Compare these qualities to mine and Daniel's and you wonder who they let into college in this country. Yeah, the White Horse, the pub on the corner. That used to be a cattle market there. What? Yeah, it was a holding market for Smithfield. Used to be the whole area. Used to slaughter them there and take them down to Smithfield through King's Cross. I looked at Dan. He didn't look happy. Dan the vegan used to live in an old abattoir. Brilliant. I knew there was something funny about it.